Please, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Now, Modi, I'd like to start with you. Perhaps you can just start off by telling the viewers this morning, who is CRAN and what is CRAN's mandate?
All right. CRAN is the Communications Regulatory Authority of Namibia. Basically, we regulate telecommunication services and networks, broadcasting services, postal services, as well as the use and allocation of radio spectrum. This is all done within the ambit of the Communications Act, Act number 8 of 2009.
All right. Now, which law enables CRAN's mandate?
The Communications Act of 2009, as well as the regulations made in terms of that particular act.
All right. Amelia, on to you. Now, earlier I had a chance to speak, pardon me, Albertina, to speak to Modi about, CRAN's mandate. And as she mentioned, you obviously broadcasting services, postal services, and also the radio spectrum. Now, when it comes to one's personal mobiles and the distribution of material on there, how does that fit in with what CRAN does? Because an individual could argue it's their personal property, and CRAN doesn't sort of oversee what happens on an individual's personal telecommunications device.
Thank you. As Modi has just alluded to, we regulate communications in Namibia. That is in terms of the Communications Act. Now, what the Communications Act states is that one cannot, in layman's term, one should not use their telecommunication device, be it a cell phone, a laptop, a computer, to make or to distribute or to instigate comments that is indecent or pornographic in nature, with the intention to harass or annoy another person.
Why does CRAN feel so strongly about this issue and warning the public on it, Modi?
It's really simple, Nina. It's not only a criminal offense, but you are doing irreparable harm to someone's good name and possibly their future. And really, it's as simple as that. It's illegal and it's immoral. So, and we are really with CRAN, we're not just about consumers having access to these devices and gadgets and making the full use of them, but we want to create responsible citizens who make responsible decisions. So it's something that is very close to our hearts, and that's why we took the time out this morning just to come and educate the nation that it's not only an offense, but you're really doing serious harm to someone's reputation.
Albertina, back to you. I'm sure people that are watching this morning feel they want complete clarity on the issue. So if you're found in the position of having received something that's either pornographic, nudity, or the topics that we've discussed this morning, and you're just a receiver of these items or these pictures or whatever it may be, are you also in the firing line if you have them on your mobile?
If you're just a receiver, please do not continue distributing this content, and at least inform the relevant authorities about the ongoings of such acts.
All right. Modi, back to you. Now, what happens to people that have found themselves guilty of this offense?
In terms of Section 117 of the Communications Act, it says that upon conviction, you're either liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years, or to pay a fine of 20,000 Namibian, or not exceeding 20,000 Namibian dollars, pardon me, or to both imprisonment and to a fine. So that is really, it just shows you the seriousness of this matter. 5 years may look like a short time, but I tell you, there's nothing short about spending 5 years in prison. It's a very different environment to what we are used to on the outside.
Any last thoughts you'd like to leave us with on this topic? Any important information that we've left out?
Right. Just to encourage the nation that if you are a victim of the circulation of this material, be it a photograph or video or comments or suggestions or proposals, we just want to advise the nation to please contact the Namibian police. They're the best. They're the only institution basically that has investigative powers to deal with criminal matters. However, if you require any further clarity, you're also welcome to contact our offices, and we will provide you with further guidance and clarity. But if you want to have the matter prosecuted, please contact the police. And just to encourage people, young and old, let's avoid this. This is not who we are as a people. Let's have some form of integrity and accountability to how we use the telecommunications devices that we have in our possession. Thank you.
Albertina, just before I ask you to give your final thoughts, firstly, I'd like to ask, for people that have been victims of, these issues, sex tapes being spread of themselves, what legal route can they take? Because a lot of times they, number one, are afraid to come forth, but if they do have the courage to come forth, what legal route should they take in order to get justice served?
Well, as Modi has just stated, it is a criminal offense for one to distribute or instigate comments or even make these videos or images of another person. If one really finds themselves being victims to this, they must contact the police. Contact the police and open a criminal case against the person who is either instigating comments or is distributing further this content. Let's use social media and internet for good use. We shouldn't use it to distribute these kind of things to annoy and harass other people.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've asked you about people that have received this, pictures or whatever it may be. Let's say it's on social media, on Facebook, somebody's exposed somebody else, and I happen to comment on that Facebook post. Am I also, being found guilty for having participated in that?
If you are the one instigating further comments on the topic, yes, you are also just as guilty.
All right. With the issue of anonymity, because a lot of times people do know where this information comes from, who started it and so forth, and they'd like to go to the police but are afraid that, they'd be exposed. What about, having anonymity in terms of coming forth and exposing the perpetrators behind this?
Thank you. The thing is, with the police investigation, the truth will always come to light as to who is really behind the distribution or the making of this content. So at the end of the day, it will come to light really, and the person responsible will be dealt with in terms of the law.